Welcome to episode 26, everyone. We're here at the Tyhark Orchard, which is the next mission. It's the first one in Vabbi. Last episode, we got out of the Badok Caverns and we sort of moved our way up. There's a big festival on at the moment, the Festival of Liss, and they're holding a huge party at this massive garden nearby that we got a glimpse of at the end of the last episode in a cutscene. Oh, I never knew that hill was there, that you could go up behind that. So yeah, this mission's actually a solo mission. We've only got one invitation to get into the party, which is pretty cool. Before we go in though, I realised I didn't read the Chantry of Secrets outpost description. So this is where the Order of Whispers basically have their base. The Order of Whispers tends the home of the statues of the 5 gods, while also using the Chantry as their base of operations. A secretive order, they welcome visitors, but do not share much in the way of information. And that's very true. We are kind of going to be working alongside them now because they want the same thing as us. They want Varesh out and they want to stop Nightfall, but they haven't told us very much. They've just told us that now, while we're exploring, members of their order will appear who we can get bounties from, similar to the way we got bounties from Sunspears before. But other than that, we really don't know much about them. And of course, we're now at the Tyhark Orchard, which is described as a small community on the edge of the highlands. Tyhark Orchard was settled by a group of retired gardeners of Seborhin. You'll see that Seborhin's like up here. So yeah, through horticulture and careful irrigation, they have made this rugged upland bloom. So I didn't talk much about the Vitendi Valley or the Forum Highlands, but I'm sure we'll be going back to them soon enough, so it doesn't matter. Alright, let's move on, shall we? So the event planner says, oh good, more attendees for the Festival of Liss, and foreigners nonetheless. It seems you only have one invitation, so you'll have to attend separately. Okay, yeah, I was under that impression already. So she says, thank Lissa for this beautiful day, and we can go in. I have an invitation. You have only a single invitation, so you must be admitted alone. If your friends want to join the party, they must each acquire a separate ticket, so we can only go alone. What this basically means is I'm going to need to be able to keep myself alive, so I'm going to add, I don't know, just a healing skill, hopefully. If I've got any. I don't have any healing skills. Oh well, we'll just see how this goes for now. Hopefully Corey can take most of the damage for us if we get into any fights. But there we go, let's go on through. This is not going to be good. I love the loading screen for this one. So this is a big beautiful garden, you'll see it. Oh yeah, at the end of the last episode it was also revealed that Talcora is the... We should probably unequip my scythe for the moment, because that's draining my health. We found out that Talcora is actually a princess here. How crazy is that? I'm sure we'll see her. We can't go back over the stairs because of the guards. Anyway, here's a man, the master of ceremonies. Just having a little look around. And he says, for years I have orchestrated and overseen the celebrations of this great day, the Day of Liss. It is a grand celebration of our most sacred goddess, Lissa, who has inspired and shaped the great beauty of our land. There's a lot of hints you'll see as we go through Vabbi that maybe Lissa used to sort of reside here when the gods were sort of shaping the earth and stuff and lived here before the Exodus. It kind of hints that maybe Lissa stayed around here. Anyway, tell me more about the holiday. For countless generations, we have held the annual celebration of the great beauty Lissa has bestowed upon our lands and people. It is a day of games, of merrymaking, of relaxation, and joyous celebration. Take off your sandals and enjoy yourself, friend. On this day, the troubles of daily life are forgotten. Why is Lissa so important? Though we worship and respect all of the gods, Goddess Lissa shaped the lands we call home. Lore suggests that the goddess herself moulded Vabbians in her own glorious image. Okay, tell me more about the holiday. Oh no, we've already heard about that. Could you introduce me to the princes? My duty is to coordinate the celebration. The princes may pay me well for my service. I'm not about to shirk my responsibilities. Why don't you go introduce yourself? Don't be shy now. Thank you, I must be going. Alright. Sounds fair. Let's move on down. Now this garden is huge. I kind of feel like this is like one of those missions, if the game engine was a little bit better, we'd see a lot more people wandering around, but you only kind of see them sparingly, sadly. So we've got a couple of guards. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking. Yes, you probably did. Bit like Christmas. On New Year's. Anyway, so here's General Morgan. Uh-oh. This is a bad guy. And he's with Kahani. What's going on? She says, Morgan, I didn't expect to see you here. It has been too long, General. You know him? It's weird being near him. We haven't seen him since we were in Istan. He says, and I did not expect to find you in the company of Istani spies, dear Kahani. Oh no, I think it's going to blow up straight away. Lissa guides me in all I do, Morgan. You should remember that which Priest Jeshek has taught us. Trust me when I say this is for the greater good. He says, a valid point, Kahani. Now it's time to celebrate Lissa and her beauty. I will spare your friends during the festivities, but don't think for a moment that I am not watching. Know this, Istani, you are my enemy. I have sworn on my honour to crush you. Should we meet again, I won't turn a blind eye. Kahani says, don't worry about Morgan. He's a man of his word, and will spare you this day. We need to attend the matters at hand. Do not be distracted. Spread out and talk to the princes. I need to converse with Morgan about the Kournans. I can't believe Morgan's here. So one thing to know about him is he's a very devout follower of Lissa. Very devout. That comes into play quite a bit later on in Vabbi. But yeah, there's Morgan again. Oh, he speaks to us. He says, I am both a soldier and a follower of Lissa. The two are not in conflict. Both demand devotion and dedication. Without those virtues, a man is worthless. And Kahani says, may Lissa's blessings of beauty grace you until the end of your days. Thank you. Alright, so I sometimes get lost on this mission, like I said, because it's so big. But yeah, can you just imagine if the engine was a little bit better and there were loads of NPCs here sort of walking around, dancing, having drinks. You don't really see that till you get to the bottom of the garden, which is awesome, don't you think, guys? This place looks so good. There's like a really high up bridge later that I'm hoping to show you, and it's probably the highest, longest bridge I've ever seen in this game, and just the view from the top of it is incredible. Anyway, what have we got? More guards. Oh, a noble says, I hear the Kournans are taking an unusual interest in Vabbian art and history. Perhaps we have misjudged Varesh. A woman of grace and culture would soon realise that Vabbi is worthy of a strong alliance. It could be best for both our provinces. Art, history, my friend, you're far too trusting in rumours. Varesh doesn't want to study Vabbi. She wants to conquer it. No, be serious. Varesh Ossa? She's a noble ruler, as her father before her. The treaties between Vabbi and Kourna are sterling. There's sterling, my friend, and then there's gold. I'll bet you know which one of the two Varesh has more interest in. Why else would her army be massing at our door? Also, the Vabbians are all talking about it. I'm on duty to speak to me later if you must. No thanks. You sound a bit mean. So there's more of these awesome things here. I believe the ones here have got like a specific name, or they've got a specific story about them. Anyway, more conversation. Family and the Fabulous is staging a new play this month in the Boca Amphitheatre. I already have tickets, of course. I'm hoping it's I hope it's as meaning and moving as his last production. Norgu was in it, and you know how I adore his work. Norgu, remember that name? What? You mean Assault of the 20-foot Bananas? I suppose I would call it moving. If by that you mean the audience disappeared from the theatre faster than a ham from a Bocca's buffet line. You obviously don't appreciate true art. Either that or I don't like bananas. Okay, so here we've got some dancing, some proper stuff going on. Was it a dream when you see yourself standing in the sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you? Yes, it was a dream, and I can't say I've ever had that dream. I'm not going to waste too much time talking to people, although I'm sure they all have interesting things to say. So here's some servants serving drinks. Okay, so the bonus for this mission is to do sort of participate in just lots more festivities. Here's the first thing. You've got two kids. If you speak to the one of the opposite sex of you, I think it's the opposite sex, or it might be the same sex, I'm not sure. So this little girl says, I'm too scared to ask the boy I like to dance. Why? Because I have 2 left feet. Well, not literally, but you get the picture. Please show me how to move so I don't embarrass myself. I'll teach you how to shake it till the cows come home, girl. Alright, here we go. So you just do /dance. It's pretty fun. There's not often, like I said before, that you have to do dance to teach people that. So she says, oh, we're so dreamy. Thank you for teaching me to dance. You've got smooth moves. Now they run off, and I'm left dancing alone. Oh, that's all too familiar. Okay, here we go. So some more guard. Oh, a guard says General Morgan attended another gathering here a few months ago. I found him to be quite cultured. Such a deep faith the man has in Lissa. The soldiers under him are lucky to have such a noble leader. The general, yes, but if you speak of all of Kournan leadership, well, I have to disagree. Do not personally like the direction Varesh is taking her province, and Morgan has done nothing to stop her. Don't assume just because Morgan follows orders that he agrees with them. Anyone in the military will tell you, obey first, then question. General Morgan is a loyal man who believes in the good of Kourna. He followed Varesh's father, you know. Well, in this case, the apple has fallen quite far from the tree. The Ossa lineage is not what it once was. So here's Chirai Ossa being mentioned again. Of course, Chiriosa was the guy that supposedly beat this guy called Palo at Joko, sort of saved the nation from falling, and then he went off to the Crystal Desert. He keeps being referenced. I really want you guys to remember him because he's important later. But there we go. So this man, Kurai the Mad, says, his eyes are always watching me, burning into my soul. I cannot escape him. He is so close now, I can feel the hot breath of his anger upon my neck. Flesh and blood dance in my dreams. Horrible visions, lands of chaos where the screams of the dying weave songs of madness and horror. When will I wake? Wow. So, is he mad? I mean, or is everyone starting to get these kinds of things? Later we'll see Melanie starts to go a little bit like that. Ooh, but not too many spoilers. I won't spoil too much for you. Anyway, now we're down in the bottom. The princes are just up there. This noble says, will there be a new production this month? I would love to escort you to another play. You looked resplendent the last time I attended the theatre. The last time? Ah, yes, now I remember you. Yes, I do believe a new play is opening soon. But I believe it's by a Kournan playwright. Trying to understand Kournan plays always gives me a headache. Ah, but I heard this is a light romantic comedy, just your style. You do enjoy romantic plays, don't you? Remember the performance during the winter festival? The one that made you cuddle up against me? That wasn't because of the play. It was snowing. Oh, it was snowing? Seriously? Wow, it's snowing here in Vabbi. Okay, what should I do? What should I do? I guess our main objective right now should be to come up and speak to the princes. Look how awesome this place looks, seriously. Okay, so, like it was said in the last episode, you can't speak direct. The water's probably a bit loud, isn't it? Yeah, sorry if you guys can't hear me in this episode. Right, so as we heard, I'll stand here so that the water's not running. You can't just directly go to these princes. You have to speak to sort of their attendants, I guess you could say, and give them gifts or bribes and stuff like that, and then sort of you can be granted. You can be. They'll let you speak to them, basically. Okay, so let's start with this guy, Prince Metu the Wise with Talcora. Okay, there's some palace guards here. I'm on duty, speak to me if later. Royal Guard Zender. He says, I am Zender, member of Metu the Wise's elite Royal Guard. Be foolish enough to draw your weapon near the prince and it will be the last move you make. Do not make eyes at Talcora, the prince's daughter, either. You are not worthy to gaze upon the likes of her. And you are a fool. She's been hanging out with us for ages, so suck it. Tell me about Prince Metu the Wise. The man is something of a scholar, not a fighting man. I've served tougher men before, but few paid better than Prince Metu. He's a good man who shows genuine concern for his people, especially that daughter of his. Despite his best intentions, the prince is reluctant to take action. Perhaps he's concerned about criticism. One thing I will say is Vabbi doesn't really have a unified military. All of its forces just kind of work under individual princes and men with lots of wealth, and that's just kind of how it works. And we've seen before in the past, again, this Palo at Joko guy took advantage of this kind of loose system and managed to invade Vabbi. Vabbi's built on like a lot of mines, and he kind of snuck through the mines to get there. But more about that later. Anyway, tell me about Talcora. Talcora is the light of Prince Metu's life. If anything were to happen to her, I'd fear he'd never be the same. Talcora lives a truly privileged life. I don't think she realises just how lucky she is. Okay, tell me about Metu. Okay, alright, we've already heard about him. Thank you, that is all. Right, let's speak to her. Listen, I'm very sorry I didn't reveal my identity, but I didn't think you'd let me accompany you if you knew who I was. We'd best not be seen together right now. I'll meet up with you again once the party's over. My father is extremely upset and he might take his anger out on you. Why didn't you tell me? If it were up to him, my father wouldn't have me do anything but stay at home and act like a princess. I long to travel and see the world, to do something grand with my life and be like the great adventurers the storytellers spin tales about. If you found out who I was afraid you'd send me back to my father. I'm truly sorry. Okay, I can understand that, Talcora. Alright, so can we speak to him or what do we have to do? He says, my niece Mina tells me that, thanks to you, she has learned to dance. Oh, okay, so helping that little girl dance has actually granted us an audience with this guy. She is such a sweet young girl, reminds me of my beloved daughter at that age. You have put a smile on her face and brightened Mina's day. I grant you my audience in return for your kindness. Okay, what do you have to say? So, this is his views on Varesh. War Marshal Varesh is coming to overtake Vabbi, serving a dark, forgotten and evil god? Impossible! Vabbi has always been a friend to Kourna. I cannot believe she would deceive us. It is unthinkable. So he remains in ignorance, which is a shame, but there you go. Okay, so that's one prince done, or we tried to convince him. Let's try and convince the others. There's a royal food taster here, a man named Goran. Let's speak to Goran. He says, the boss says to stand here and guard. I better not move or he'll get angry. The food taster says, blessings of Lissa upon you, friend. The name's Rendu, master food taster for Prince Bokka the Magnificent. My role is to ensure he consumes only foodstuffs of the highest quality. He has extremely rich, finicky tastes, and any morsel that isn't perfectly prepared will spoil his appetite. Yeah, you guys might have guessed there's a lot of dialogue in this quest. Let's speak to the Bokka the Magnificent. So he says, if you're not here to lavish me with pleasantries or expensive gifts, I have no use for you. Be gone, do not waste my valuable time. So he doesn't want to speak to us. We haven't got an audience with him yet. So many people. Oh, here's the Norgu guy that was mentioned earlier. He says, hail and well met, my poorly accessorized friends. Of course, I will have a moment for a fan. I'm sure you loved my work in Rurik, Prince of Tyria. No? Then you saw me portray Havelgar, Terror of the Tides. What? Haven't you seen any of my plays? You gods, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard. So, if you guys have seen Prophecies, you'll know all about Prince Rurik of Ascalon. Norgu obviously heard about the story and he's written a play about it. Yeah, do remember him. I like him. A lot of people hate him, but I love this fat little Mesmer. He's great. Anyway, let's speak to the Royal Finance Minister. Wow, okay. I am Oluda, Finance Minister for the most powerful and gracious Prince Bokka the Magnificent. I handle his matters of coin and estate on a day-to-day basis. Did you wish to bestow upon the great prince a gift of appreciation for his wise and benevolent leadership? Okay, so you can offer him gold, or you can find something to trade. Now, I don't have... I've got 2,000 gold, so... I'm going to actually find something. Okay, so if we try it now, we haven't got anything. He says his girthiness has plenty of these and has no need for more. Return when you have a suitable offering. Okay, so before we do anything else, let's find a suitable offering, shall we? Oh, thank God I'm away from that water. I really hope you guys could hear me. If you couldn't, I'll just turn it down. Turn down the So there's lots of people to talk to and do. Let's just stay focused, shall we? Okay, more peasants talking. I'm gonna stop reading stuff out. Let's do stuff. You can read that if you're really interested, guys. Something about a private vault. Someone's paintings. Oh, Daddy, look at that tree. It's floating. And the other noble said, that's the Siborin tree, Anate. It's Lissa's favourite tree in all the world. It's fed with water from the Elon and grows in the light of Lissa's smile. So the child said, look, a leaf fell right into my hands. Can I keep it, Daddy? Can I? Of course you can, sweetheart. That means Lissa is watching over you. So that's the story behind the tree that I was talking about. It's pretty cool. I mean, if you guys don't like that, then I don't know what will impress you. I believe we get the offering, the item, somewhere over here. I just love all the colours here, you know. It's so cool. Oh, by the way, this is the bridge. Hang on. There, that bridge up there. You can actually go to that. Not in the mission, but you can go to that later. And the view from up there is just, it's amazing. It's so high up, isn't it? I can't quite remember how you get there. Anyway, let's speak to this woman. I think this is how we get the item. Jijumba. She says, shadows guide you, friend. I am Jijumba. That is all you need to know. I am here on my own business, which is none of yours. I couldn't help but notice that you may need a gift to appease Fat Prince Blobber the Malodorous over there. For the life of me, I can't think of why you would want to have anything to do with him, but everyone knows gifts are the easiest way to get his attention. Well, that and a large buffet spread. How do you know so much about the prince? Let's just say I know the prince, but he doesn't know me. It's best things stay that way. He has a sweet tooth for rare art and Elonian antiques. I have a certain affinity for all the prince's belongings. That pig-headed fool is none the wiser. Okay, so she's a bit of a bitch. Okay, yes, I need a gift. She says, I've in my possession a rare antique vase from the early Chulo dynasty. I know that of the prince's taste quite well. I assure you he'll bray like a donkey when he sees it. It can be yours for 4 platinum. A relative steal, if you ask me. Now, I don't even have 4 platinum, so we're not going to pay her. Do these look like clothes of a wealthy noble? How about we work out some other arrangement? And the other thing we can say is I'll give Prince Bokka the Magnificent the gift of your head. Okay, so she says, Bokka the Magnificent is always receiving extravagant gifts from various nobles, merchants and other sycophants that wish to remain on his good side. Most are just looking for an invitation to one of his grand parties. One particular bribe caught my eye. His guards are taking it the feather of a rare golden phoenix bird from the palace for safekeeping. Get me that feather and you can have the vase. I can't be bothered to do that. So what I'm actually going to do is give him the gift of your head. So let's equip my scythe. Let's do it. Alright. She's very easy to kill. Really not a problem. If you have problems against her, you're going to have a lot of problems in the rest of the mission. Let's unequip our weapon. But yeah, there you go. That's the rare antique Elonian vase. I would feel bad. When I first did that, I felt bad for killing her. But actually, now that I speak to her, I realise she's just a bit of a bitch anyway. And guess what? Yeah, guys, I overfilmed again. I just went on and on and on. So I had to split the episode in two. I will see you next time for the second part of this mission, where I promise you there will be a bit more combat and a wonderful mime battle as well. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed the episode. See you later.